Hello and welcome. My name is HobbyJon. Today we're talking about Mechanix gloves. Yes, I know lots of you have been waiting for this video. This set right here, this black set, is a large set of Mechanix gloves. The first set I purchased, probably 4 years ago now. And I got these at an automotive store. I live near Newark, Ohio. Not Newark, New Jersey, Newark, Ohio. And an auto parts store had these, and I needed a new set of gloves to work on my car. I was like, hey, I'm going to try out a set of these. And they had two versions. They had the one with the black text and the white text. Apparently, this is the tactical version, all right? I didn't know at the time, but sure enough, I bring them home. And was it several weeks or months later? Either way, that year, one of my friends who was in the military, his brother still is in the military, saw the set, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love Mechanix gloves. And I asked them, well, do you have a set? They're like, well, I don't know. They had sets previously. I guess they wore them out. And they both of them pulled out a set of Oakley gloves. And they had knuckle protection. The Mechanix gloves, you can get knuckle protection as well. And, I think the Oakleys had, I think it was carbon fiber, something really cool. Kind of an expensive glove, but they got their military discount, whatever, you know how it all works. And so I asked them, well, does it make a difference? They're like, yes. Not because they're like getting in fights and punching people, but because when they're hopping out of motor vehicles, like armored vehicles with equipment, whether it be guns or just other equipment, it's easy to smash your hand against things, your knuckles, and bloody your knuckles up. So they really liked those for that use. But I was surprised that these Mechanix gloves were considered a tactical product. Needless to say, I like them for automotive use and for shooting guns. One of the nice things about these is they have a really thin synthetic leather palm and fingers right here, so you can feel what you're working with, right? You can feel the screws, you can feel the nuts and the bolts of things, and it's amazing. Even with guns, I have no problem loading BBs with these guns on. You've seen it on camera with BBs. It's just a wonderful set of gloves where I feel like the trade-off is wonderful. I'm not losing anything. Now, something else I need to address. I encounter this a lot. Not just on YouTube, but with family members, all right? So I have family all over West Coast, California, the Los Angeles area, where I'm originally from. And they, like my family members down there, do not understand gloves. Like, I got a gift once. I think it was a birthday gift, but it might have been a Christmas gift. I can't tell. In California, it's just the weather's always so nice. I always forget what season it is. But either way, I had a gift where I had some driving gloves. And I was like, some gloves. And I said, hey, these would make great driving gloves. And of course, he says, driving gloves? Why would you ever drive with gloves on? That doesn't make sense. You don't need gloves to drive. I was like, well, yeah, but if it's -20 outside and your hands are numb, it makes it difficult to drive. So you wear some gloves when you grab that freezing steering wheel and you drive off somewhere, until the car heats up. And he's like, all right, well, and of course, he says the classic, well, in California, you wouldn't have that problem. Yeah, thanks for that. Stating the obvious. So I can understand how there will be people in certain parts of the country or the world who are just like, you don't need gloves. I understand that. I respect that. But for me, I really like these gloves. They work well in the winter. They work well here in my shop. They work well when I'm working on my car or even operating firearms to protect my fingers. Several times, hot brass you have to deal with, other parts of guns you have to deal with, sharp, goofy edges, field stripping your AK, just various things where sometimes sharp edges can pinch your skin, give you blood blisters, but with a little bit of protection, just a tiny little bit of protection, you can avoid all of that. And there's going to be somebody out there who's like, just suck it up. I get a cut, on my face the size of the Grand Tetons every single day, and I just pour kerosene on it. Yeah, good for you. But, some of us want to protect our bodies, all right? So that's just the general glove discussion. Now, something else about these gloves that I find very interesting. They are actually able to operate a phone, right? And I was really surprised because I remember once I got a call and I was like, did I totally miss that? I got a call once and I was like, oh, can I answer with my gloves on? Sure enough, I can answer with my gloves on. Like you can see, sometimes it takes several swipes, but you can operate a phone. Pretty amazing, right? And I'm not sure if it works better when I'm sweaty, but sometimes it works better than others, needless to say. So, should I take a picture? Post it on Facebook? Here, let's do that. Mechanix Original, right here. There we go. That looks very reasonable. Either way, Mechanix gloves. The other thing I really like about these, you've seen this set of gloves in my wheel gun, one of my wheel guns. I compare a BB gun to a wheel or a spare tire, and I'm rolling the spare tire and it ends up in the ditch. I roll it into the ditch, I go back and I retrieve it. And these gloves get all muddy. Well, the nice thing about synthetic leather, I think this is polyurethane and nylon, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what it says right here. Simulated leather, nylon 35%, polyurethane. No, 35% polyurethane, 65% nylon. Knitted fabric is nylon and spandex. So the synthetic leather is nice because it's not going to be damaged by water. It's not going to get dry or crack. It's just wonderful. And you just wash it. I just washed it off. And now look at them. They're not muddy at all. Well, not too muddy. So I really like the materials. I really like how they feel. The large pair was a little big for me, so I wore the medium. So for the Mechanix gloves, I wear the medium-sized gloves. Very, very useful gloves. Highly recommended if you're looking for a set of gloves, or if, you're just too macho and you don't wear gloves, or you're in a warm weather environment, or you just don't like gloves. You'll probably never wear these, but great multi-use, multi-purpose gloves. Thanks for watching. My name is HobbyJon. Check us out at hobbyjon.com. You can follow us on Facebook and see the wonderful, amazing picture I took of these gloves.